Okay, so when you're talking about a 3D shape and you're talking about volume, you're thinking about how many cubic things or things you could put inside the shape. So are we working with the outside? No. Okay. The outside would be called surface area, and that's like thinking about wrapping a present. That's what would be the surface area. We're talking about volume, so we're talking about the stuff on the inside. Looking at your reference sheet, what is the formula that I use to find the volume of a rectangular prism? Sean makes a raising hand. Okay, so you have two different formulas. You have length times width times height, or big B times H. This big B means the base of your prism. So again, we said that the base of our prism is a rectangle. And how do you find the area of the base? Jacob? Length times width. So this big B actually means length times width. So we are actually just going to probably use this formula here. So what is my length, what is my width, and the height of example 1? Addie Swanson? What is, in example 1, what is my length, width, and height? 5, 4. Good. 5 times 4 times 3. So 5 times 4 is 20 times 3 is 60. And I'm talking about volume. So what do I label it? Cubed. It is to the third power, because that means how many cubic things you could fit in there. Questions on example 1? Got it, A. Go. Sure. Gracie, what did you write out for your volume formula? Good. You do need to write this all out. And what did you get for an answer? So you round to the nearest whole number? If you didn't round to the nearest whole number, what would it have been? 142. I would leave it to the nearest tenth because that's typically where we've been rounding. And what would we label it? Meters cubed. You're figuring out how many cubes can fit on the inside.
If it's 3D, put a 3. If it's 2D, put a 2.
Not always. It depends on what you're solving for.
Okay, that's just how I'm going to remember it.
Okay. All right. We have a triangular prism. Carter, how do I find the volume of a triangular prism? 1/2 of length times width times height. I'm talking, which means nobody else should be talking. Okay, how is this different from what we just did? Sean?
Well, you're doing the same thing, but instead of just getting the answer right away by doing that, you have to divide it by 2.
Good. And why is this divide by 2? Where does that come from, Kaden?
Because they are triangle.
Because in a triangle. So remember, we have a triangular prism. So in a triangle, your area is half of base times height. So since it's a triangular prism, we have half of the length times width. Okay? So they're very similar, but you will get different answers. What's my length, what's my width, and what's my height? An example 2, Samantha. My length, width, and height. Yep. Length and width. Perfect. So then we would have this. We'd calculate 9 times 8 is, times 6 is,
One.
132? 432. And then what do I do with that if I didn't want to multiply? Good, I could just divide by 2. So what do you get for an answer? 216 feet cubed. There you go. Go ahead and take a seat. All right. Addie Swanson, what did you write for volume? Volume equals 1/2 of 7 times 5 times 4. And what did you get for an answer? 700 what? 7D. Thumbs up if you agree. No? Angela, what did you?
Yeah, I got some.
You just got 7D?
Yeah.
So 5 times 4 would be 20. 20 times 7 would be 140. 140 divided by 2 would be 70, right? Okay, and what would you label it?
Inches cubed.
Just make sure you type it into the calculator correctly. Okay, next page. Moving right along. All right, we're talking about lunch boxes. Which lunch box holds more food? So if we're filling it, what are we finding? The area or the volume? Volume. Okay, so tell me, what would I write for the first formula for box A, Hayden? Good, and what would you get for the answer? Good, and we're just looking at, because they solved in the book for us, and that'd be inches cubed. And what would you write for the volume of box B, Trey? 3.75, is that what you said? Times what? Good, and what would you get for volume? So then, Damien, what is going to be my final answer? What's the original question? B, because we can fit 285 inches cubed in this one, and this one only holds 281.25. So we would say lunchbox B. Questions? 1 through 4 on that same page. Stand quietly when you're done.